Moving on, and this is yet another story which is nothing short of a nightmare. A family of 8 on a holiday in Nepal allegedly died from asphyxiation, probably in their sleep from what we understand. This family was staying at a resort in Nepal's Daman where they suffocated to death because of the leakage of a gas from the heater in their room. All 8 victims were airlifted to the hospital in Kathmandu, but none of them survived. The deceased includes 2 couples and 4 children. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has appealed to the External Affairs Ministry to render assistance to the families and friends of the victims. So Vivek Karindalam is the reporter on the story, and he'll help us understand how things unfolded. But like I said, this is a horror of horrors where you have 2 families eliminated overnight and probably died while they were sleeping because of asphyxiation. Initial information indicate that this could be a case of gas leakage in the room. Vivek is with us on the phone line. Vivek?
That's right. Initial, information pouring in from the Nepal authorities clearly states that, it is asphyxiation caused by a malfunctioning gas heater in the hotel room. What we know is they were staying in a hotel in Daman. They were on their way back from Pokhara to catch a flight back to India. They checked in at the hotel room on Monday night. 2 of the families shared one room, while the others stayed in the second room. Gas heaters were switched on due to the cold weather. The room was vaulted from inside, and there was hardly any ventilation. So it was no doubt it was, the presence of carbon monoxide, which they would have inhaled, and that actually caused a suffocation, and that too in a completely a small room, which there was no kind of air passage going from inside or outside. So that actually has caused it is asphyxiation. There is no doubt about that. And Tuesday morning, all the 8 in the first room were found unconscious. They were airlifted to a hospital in Kathmandu, but before they reached there, they were pronounced dead. And the deaths are presumed to have been due to the carbon monoxide poisoning caused by the gas leak in the heater. Now, whether any action is taken against the hotel authorities, still we have no information about that. But there is an investigation on by the local authorities over there, and only later on we'll get to know what action has been taken. But as far as the bodies are concerned, they're supposed to reach tomorrow, that is Thursday, and all the last rites will be conducted tomorrow. And by tomorrow, either by today night or tomorrow morning by the Air India flight from Kathmandu, the bodies will reach Delhi, and from Delhi to Trivandrum, and Trivandrum, the last rites will be conducted.
Right, Vivek. And at that stage, of course, we'll come back to you to get inputs once the bodies arrive back home here in India to their hometown of Trivandrum. Sanjana will help us zoom in into some of the details, because this is not something we, a kind of a story we hear very often. 2 families died because of a gas leakage in a resort where they were out on a holiday. Over to you, Sanjana, for the details of this case.
So let me just take you through what happened. It was 8 people, so about 2 families that were at this resort in Daman in Nepal, 2 couples and 4 children. This family was staying at the Everest Panorama Resort. Now, understandably, this time of the year, Frida, particularly in a place like Nepal, the weather is really, really chilling. It's cold. The temperatures have dipped. So the gas heater inside the room was switched on. After they switched on the gas heater, there was a gas leak. So this essentially means that this particular heater was defective. It was not working. Now, after that happened, all of these people, that's 8 people, were unconscious, and that's the way they were all found in the room. Unfortunately, both of these families were airlifted. They were taken to a hospital in Kathmandu, but unfortunately none of them survived because of how deadly this gas leak is, Afrida. So it remains to be seen whether that particular thing is going to be probed, because yes, the Chief Minister now has asked the MEA to intervene and make sure that all arrangements are made for the victims' families and friends for the bodies to be brought back. But this particular aspect needs to be probed, particularly since this means a lot of tourist lives are at risk.